My darling dear, you're never here. When I'm in pain, you hide and disappear. Like shadows in the atmosphere, charting the stratosphere. I pray for you and catch you near, in hopes you chase away my fears. I'm on my own, you made it so, and now I'm chasing nightmares. I used to run with you through the great big leaves, laugh at you when you laugh at me. Hope for us because I believe the home is just you and me. I thought you were the one for.
Well, let's get into it. Tour de Hongrie, Season 3 PCM SimGame. We have the correct DB loaded. Is a 2-point pro race. Tour de Hongrie, the 2022 route. We have got 4 flat stages, followed by 1 mountain stage, finishing up the Kekestito climb. Double checking options: frequency falls 1, prize money coefficient 1, very race day condition set to 5. Let's get into the race, shall we? Wait for it to load. There we go, we got a nice. There's about 20 teams here at this race with ATT Investments, the Czech team led by Mateusz Kopecki for the sprint, with a few possibly breakaway riders for the mountains. Jano Ueda leading the Bahrain victorious team. They don't really have a sprinter as such. Korotek, of course, going all in for Ilya Viviani, and actually Fabro for the GC, actually two-prong attack. Credit Agricole, the French team. No Frenchman here at this race, but they have Mads Pedersen, former world champion, for the sprints, and Juan Ayuso, superstar, for the mountains. Team Diamante Continental German team. Greg Steinhauser for the mountains. Gishka, possibly co-leader. Milan Minton for the sprints. Team HTC Columbia High Road. Lenny Martinez, the young French superstar, for the mountains. No real sprinter here for them. Looks like they're going all in for the final GC stage. Hogan Farm Frights with Boke Mollema and Juan Pedro Lopez. I think Pedro Lopez will probably be their leader. Edward Turns for the sprints. Intermarché Wante with Jack Haig for the GC, and Morechko, I'd say, for the sprints, maybe? Well, looks like it could have any of the 3 men. Leopard Pro Cycling, Rafael Micah for the GC, and Ebsturi for the sprints. Team Liquid Gas, Arvid Decline, going all in for the sprints, and no real mountain climber here. No major one at least. Ben Zwihoff, all German team for Team Lotto Kernhaus. Lotto Destiny with Leonard van Etveld, their Belgian GC man. And for the sprinter, Jensen Plowright. Not a great sprinter, but not the worst one. Metek, Conti team with Jay Vine. He is strong. He's definitely going to be their GC man today. Oscar Onley for Netherlands Lottery. There are a few Netherlands riders in their squad, namely the sprinter Casper van Uden. And we also have Attila Volta, the only Hungarian here, leading Red Bull KTM. Milan Frenton is their sprinter. Santander with Emmanuel Bookman and Sam Bennett. Pseudo Quickstep Lipovitz for the GC. Caelan Groves, big name sprinter for the sprints, of course. Cheetah Pro Cycling Caicedo for the overall, and no real big name sprinter. Uno X have Colset and Freitime, and Voltus have Liepens and Lass for the sprints. So let's get our simulation team and head right into the first stage. Kind of rolling terrain, few intermediate sprints, few KOM points. Going to end up in a mass sprint as predicted by the game. Pedersen, Groves, Decline, and Turns. 2022 Tour of Hongrie. Stage 1 was won by Olev Koi. Ili Viviani contending here in the sim game and in real life. Got second, Matt Walls in third, Rudy Barbier, Moschetti in fifth, Kanter, Groenewegen, Weemans, Matt Hoffer and Decline, who's also here. Let's get our rider straight away 2-0 out of the way. Any teams we don't see much of, there's the Hungarian national champion, Attila Volta, number 81, the leader for his Red Bull KTM squad. We don't see much of the Leopard squad. They've got a new team manager. A few riders trying to get themselves in the breakaway. They haven't seen Metek for a while as well. They've also got a new manager. Welcome back to the former DSM manager our rider has abandoned. So you look up the road, few riders trying to get away. Mikkel Ram of Team Voltas Tato, Team Cortex, Gustav Wang. We have Pedersen from Uno X, and the peloton is caught up to Lurs and Sturk. Red Bull KTM and the Liquid Gas on the front, who are their leaders. Liquid Gas, of course, are at Decline. Makes sense. And Red Bull KTM have, of course, Attila Volta and Freeton, I think, for the sprints. Looks like they're allowing 3 men up the road. That is Rame, Wang, and Pedersen. Let's fast forward till we get to that first KOM where we might see some action. Forget you can do this on Pro Cycling Stats. Victor Philetus of Edre Mobile taking maximum points at this KOM point incoming. Anyway, the gap is 3 minutes. The team's working on the front. Netherlands Lottery Santander is joined in, as has Intermarché, Wanty, Go Bear. Remembering, of course, my team's not here, so I'm not too super excited about this race. Anyway, 7 kilometers into the first KOM point on offer. There's 15 points on offer, 3 KOM sectors. So if the breakaway can make it to 2 of them, breakaway has a big chance in grabbing that jersey. Today's stage is 194 kilometers. It's a very, very long stage here in Hungary. Liquid Gas just chilling on the front of the peloton, 2.8 kilometers to the top now. Looks like a bit of a hill in the middle of town. Is a category 3, 5, 3 and 1 points on offer. Who is my pick? My pick is Pedersen from Uno X to be the first man to first cross the line in this point mountain classification. He launches first. Pedersen from Uno X, the Corotec rider, straight onto his wheel. The rider from Voltas Tatu is struggling. Gustav Wang comes around the left. It looks like a photo finish. Wang with the last push once he's over the line. And Gustav Wang is first over ahead of Henrik. That's his name, Henrik Pedersen. Heading back to the peloton, 8 minutes 33 behind Fioli, the French rider from Team Santander on the front. Plancart for Intermarché, Bevort for KTM. Pseudo Quickstep also helping out. A lot of the big name teams on the front. They all want this to come down to a mass bunch sprint. We saw the gap got to 9 minutes briefly, but now it's sitting back. It's reducing down back to a more reasonable advantage. Intermediate sprint coming up shortly in 9 kilometers. Who's my pick for that? My pick will have to be Pedersen. Favourite on paper for the intermediate sprint. Hopefully he hasn't wasted his energy going for those mountain points. Here we go, 2.4 kilometers to go now. Mika Reim in the wheel. Gustav Wang should be the least favourite on paper. Reim has got a bit more flat stat. 1.4 kilometers to go. Pedersen's moving slowly to the back. Reim's moving up. Gustav Wang in second. Reim is the first to launch a sprint. Gustav Wang on the right hand side. I think Pedersen is too far back. Pedersen's trying to get through the middle, but it looks like he was too little too late. I think Gustav Wang took maximum points there in the points classification, with Reim taking second. Pedersen way out of position for that sprint, only able to gain a third there. Go another few kilometers, then we'll begin the next category 3 climb. I think it is a circuit race today. It is. We are on the circuit. So it's the same climb as before. The riders should know their tactics from last time. So let's hope Pedersen's in a better position to take this lot of mounted points. Apologies for the partial yawning. It's a little bit late. It's about 8:15 PM. Not super late. Here we go, 5.2 kilometers to go. Approaching the Category 3 climb, we're entering the town once again. Heading quickly back to the peloton. We have Pseudo Quickstep still on the front, still the same riders lapping it out. Gustav Wang this time, he's flicking his elbow. He's allowing Pedersen to take the front of this breakaway bunch. Wang will have to sprint past 2 riders if he wants to get the points. They're now kind of side by side, 1.2 kilometers to the top. Who's going to launch first? It's 1 kilometer now. Is Pedersen going for it? He's trying to push these others into the side of the road. Pedersen goes for it first. He knows Wang is at the back. He's using it to his advantage. Pedersen now opens up the road a little bit. Gustav Wang on the left hand side. Wang once again, I think too little. No, Wang took it. Gustav Wang with the last minute push to the line took it ahead of Pedersen. Unlucky for him. The only way that Gustav Wang will not be in the KOM jersey is if Pedersen gets first and Wang gets fourth. So Gustav Wang is almost guaranteed that KOM jersey for Team Korotek. Korotek, of course, is a Conti level team in this game. The gap is 5 minutes 30, has come down significantly since the previous few kilometers. The wind's picking up a little bit. Small crosswind, 9 kilometers an hour, but not really doing too much. Anyway, here comes the next intermediate sprint, almost fast forwarded past it. Pedersen on the front, Gustav Wang last minute pushed the line. Wang got second this time. Yes, Pedersen finally beating Gustav Wang, the 2 Denmark riders. Danes, that's what they call the 2 Danes, fighting it out with the Estonian Chills in 3rd place there. 4 minutes 30 is the gap. Any major change here? Nope, still the same kind of riders on the front. Lapping it out, sort of Quickstep, if a few more riders. Liquid Gas, also a few more riders there. Looks to be the second to last lap, or the last lap of the course. I think it might be the last lap of the course before they head out towards the finish line. 5.5 kilometers to go. If Pedersen wants to make a jump towards that mountain jersey, he needs to do something now. The only way Wang is not going to be in it is if he crashes from this position. Wang's leading into the climb. He wants to maximize his lead in this classification. He launches first. Pedersen is straight in the wheel. Reim sitting in 3rd. Can Pedersen go around Wang? Pedersen is trying, but Wang has the upper hand. Once again, the second, Pedersen takes it just. Oh, shit. Pedersen tried the Wang technique, and it worked out for him. But Gustav Wang is on 13 points, leading the classification by 2 points, and he'll be in the KOM classification starting tomorrow's stage. Who dat chat? What do you mean, who dat chat? John Smith. Anyway, peloton still being led by those sprinters teams. Still nil wind, everyone else chilling fine in the peloton. And which team is sitting more towards the back? Who's this? Pedersen, the Danish champion. Look at that jersey, HTC High Road. Looking good there. Looks like one of the Portuguese national champion, the Rui Costa, also here in this peloton. That HTC rider must have been going back for some bottles. We'll see Lotto Kern chilling at the back, as is Team Bahrain victorious. As we know from previous races, when it starts to get a little bit bumpy towards the end of the stage, is a bad place to be. HTC also with the Norwegian national champion. Interesting. Back to the breakaway. 3 riders, 50 kilometers to go. Puncher for Stoic, the Slovakian of Team ATT Investments. He's trying his hardest. She's up on the side of the motorbike. He is the former national champion of Slovakia. You can tell by those armbands around him. What's happening here? Anyway, 2 minutes 20 is the advantage. I think the breakaway's still gonna... Oh, small split in the pack. Like we said, these small hills is where you don't want to be at the back. Credit Agricole straight to the front. Lotto Kern House also trying to bridge the gap between these 2 bunches. Any big names who were in the second bunch here? They're all back together now, but I think Johansson maybe? Not really. Nope, split once again. in the second bunch. This time it's Lotto Destiny who are caught behind because Piganzoli is caught behind here. They will try their hardest to catch back up to head back to the front of the race. There's 700 meters to go before the intermediate sprint. And Miko Ram launches early, but Wang comes around him. Pedersen looking very, very worse for wear. Pedersen and Ram now on 7 points each in their points classification. 30k's to go, 2 minutes is the advantage with the peloton charging down the road. It's actually a German national champion as well. Yes, Marco Brenner, this time for Pseudo Quickstep, the German national champion. Interesting jersey choice. Anyway, second bunch on the roads about to make the catch here. Looks like Team HTC, Mikael Valgren is caught behind. Faustpost trying to catch up, and every time someone catches up, another split just occurs a bit further back down the peloton. Knudsen is out the back here. Barati, is he the leader? No, for Team Bahrain Victorious. Just a lot of domestics out the back. Stoic, of course. Just a lot of domestics. Anyway, the first rider from the breakaway is about to be caught. Pedersen caught by Kramago of Team Liquigas. Reim and Gustav Wang hanging on for grim death. Gustav Wang will get the most combative rider. He contested all those sprints, and he is the last rider hanging on the stage. Bit of a stalemate now as the front, as they know the catch is about to be made. There's quite a big lot of daylight now towards this second bunch on the road. Vlad Van Michelin is from Credit Agricole is trying to pace back up to the front. Who is at the back? That's somewhat relevant. Mihalovic. No one really, I think, well, no one who's going to play a major part in this stage is chilling at the front of the race, at the back of the race, but they're all trying to catch back up. Another split has occurred a little bit further back. There's 20 kilometers now to go. It's all come together at the front of the race. The sprint trains are lining up, but at the back, riders are being dropped left, right, and center. Another group of 20 just dropped off the back. This time it is Caicedo who has dropped the wheel. The Tudor Pro Cycling race, well, the race leader of Tudor Pro Cycling, Fernandez, Johannes, and Hugo. Fabro out the back, Hulgaard, Valgren, they're all just back on again. As we see on the right hand side, the Uno X train sitting quite far down the pack, heading back to the front. Looking at where all the action is, we have Santander with Sam Bennett on the left hand side of the road. Pseudo Quickstep with Caden Groves. Intermarché Wanty with Merit. Leapins there as he's just chilling, trying to gain on someone else's train. Lotto Destiny, Scottson leading out. There's Decline there, sitting a bit far back. Mazzato, the sprinter for Team Netherlands Lottery, 11 kilometers to go now. This second bunch out the back, they're trying ever so hard to make it to the front. Team Metek must have a sprinter back here. Is it Rutger Selig? Intermarché on the front. The remaining terrain looks to be descending, and then plateau, not looking too strenuous. Lima on the back of Bennett, protecting his back wheel. Marco Brenner of Team Pseudo Quickstep doing the same for Caden Groves. Ebasturi from Team Leopard chilling in the middle there. In the front, Decline, the liquid gas train has dropped Ava Decline. Decline will have to jump across or waste energy himself to moving up there. Santander now moving Sam Bennett up. Ava Decline back on the wheel of his lead out, who is then blocked by Emmanuel Bookman. Team Korotech have Ilya Viviani in the perfect position. 3 kilometers to go. James Fouché moving up the Red Bull KTM squad now. Frenton now with the... Wow, look at that. 3 riders from Red Bull KTM out in front. They all set up as the sprint begins. Frenton begins on the left-hand side of the road. Casper van Uden, but it's Ilya Viviani coming up through the middle. And Pedersen too little too late. Casper van Uden takes it ahead of Ilya Viviani and Mads Pedersen. Interesting kind of finish there. Small split in the pack here. Will this count as a time gap? It will indeed. 68 riders left behind. Rui Costa's down. Caicedo. I guess we'll look at the results to double check before we actually call out all these riders. 2 riders way out the back. It is Ayachi and Hebitz. Stage 1, Tour of Hungary. Then, of course, the winner is Casper van Uden of Netherlands Lottery, followed by Ilya Viviani of Korotech and Mads Pedersen of... That's a cool question. Can't remember what team that is. Anyway, Casper van Uden is in yellow. Gustav Wang, of course, from Team Korotech in the KOM jersey. Casper van Uden in the green points jersey. Young rider still Casper van Uden. And team classification is Team Liquigas, followed by Red Bull KTM. It's Credit Agricole, that makes sense. Anyway, there's the GC, there's no bonus, no, there is bonus seconds available. It's just, there must have been a time gap with that second bunch on the road, was there? Yes, starting in 71st, Bloom, Marton Dina. Johannesson lost time, Jano Wieder, the leader from Bahrain, victorious. Caicedo from Tudor Pro Cycling losing a minute. Heiderscheld Stussi, Nicolo from Leopard, Vandal from HTC, Lemries from Bahrain victorious, Fernandez, I guess it's kind of not really leader, Sebastian Berwick, I don't really know most of these Conti guys, but Fabro, he lost time for Team Korotech. Very, very unlucky for those riders. Anyway, let's head into that second stage. Another sprint stage, Mats Pedersen the favourite again, Caden Groves and Arvid the Climb. This time no KOM points on offer, just 3 intermediate sprints. Stage 2 of the Tour of Hungary, won by none other than Fabio Jakobsen of Quickstep Alpha Vinyl. Rudy Barbier in 2nd, Sasha Wimes in 3rd, Itamar Einhorn in 4th, Max Kanter, Moschetti, De Heers, Meerhofer, Van Ashbrook and Conrad rounding out the top 10. An absolute sprint stage with, it looks like, a lot of crashes in the final few kilometres. Let's hope all our riders stay upright. And look at that, it's a rainy day. Not the greatest time. Let's get some labels on these riders so we can see what's happening. Maybe to get a little bit more excitement there. Pedersen is the first to attack. Remember, he is 2nd in that mountain classification from Uno X. Also joining him in the breakaway we have Luc Lehers and Gustav Wang, the actual mountain leader. Stoke, the former Slovakian national champion, also trying to get into the break. But the peloton's not letting that happen, and they're chasing them down quite promptly. Is Pedersen wearing a leader's jersey, is he? I think he is. Pedersen's wearing the mountain jersey, because Wang is wearing the points jersey. That makes sense. Anyway, we're letting a breakaway established. Another rider from Korotech coming up from the back of the peloton. Legak just blocked by Bervort. But Plankart is not letting them get away and is chasing them down right away. Mikael Reim and Narkin up the road. Two riders, no mountain danger tally, of course, remembering no mountain points on offer, just intermediate sprints. So with only 2 men in the breakaway, we should see some action from the peloton on these intermediate sprints. Geez, no one here really is the favourite for the sprints. It could be either, but I'm going for the Estonian, Mikael Reim. I think he's on a better day. We see a puncture for Monquet back in the peloton. He's upright and back pedaling again. 2.6 to go to the intermediate sprint. Here we go, 1 kilometre to go. Mikael Reim in the wheel. Narken launched ever so slightly first. Mikael Reim on the left hand side of the road. Reim trying to come round. Reim has no power. It is the Norwegian from Uno X who takes maximum points there. Back to the peloton, 3.8 to the intermediate sprint. Will we see some trains lining up? It looks like we do. On the right hand side, Van Bylen, Scott Mazzato is leading out. Van Bylen, Scottson is there. Viviani leading up. Viviani, of course, Viviani is second overall. Viviani wants those bonus seconds. He wants to be in that leader's jersey. Here we come, 1.1 kilometers to go. Up a decline on the left-hand side of the road. Sam Bennett, Edward turns. Viviani is ambushed out of the way and decline. Looks like he takes third in that intermediate sprint, gaining 1 point and 1 second. Gap is 5 minutes 25 as we head to the next intermediate sprint. The gap is growing, but that is because it is a bloody long stage. Another 190 kilometer stage. Seven minutes is the maximum gap. Once again, looks like the peloton has organised themselves now. You see Liquid Gas up at the front. Marco Brenner, the German national champion, on the front. Meanwhile, Miles Scottson of Team Liquid Gas has a puncture. He is back in the pack. Luke Lurs of Team Lotto Kern also has a puncture. At the back again is Bahrain Victorious and Lotto Kern. Probably the worst place to be, I guess. Who does Bahrain Victorious have in their squad? Not too many. Anyway, heading back to the front to this intermediate sprint. .4 kilometers to go. I'm still going for the Estonian, even though Naken hook it quite easily last time. I'm still back at my boy Mikael Rehm. He's even him up. This sitting side by side. Rehm's going to start in the front position. He's going to have a whole bike length on Naken. Naken launches first, but Rehm counters on the front. He's got a bike length to make up. Can Naken make it up? They're quite evenly matched, actually, so whoever goes first takes it. Back in the peloton, 2.6 to go. Here comes the lead-out train for Team Corotec. Viviani. Rui Costa here, the Portuguese national champion. Who is he leading out? No one. We see Casper Van Uden, the race leader, going for this bonus second. He doesn't want Viviani to pass him. Up a decline on the left-hand side, but Casper Van Uden gains that extra bonus second, extending his race lead. 48 kilometers, the next intermediate sprint. It really could be a time for the peloton to catch up. That comes about 23 kilometers before the finish. So it's not going to mess up the finish for anyone, if the sprinters want to sprint at the intermediate sprint. What a miserable day. Very wet. This is no wind, no crosswind, no echelons. Going to come down to the wire now, but I still think the peloton's probably going to just take the sprint. The gap is now a minute, 4.5 kilometers to go. The lead-out men are coming up. Caramago's bringing drink bottles to the team. Liquid Gas at the front, 51 seconds. Are they very worse for wear? Nope, they're still hanging on. I still think Rehm's going to take maximum points there. There's 1.6 k's to go. Here comes the lead-out trains. Here comes Bennett's lead-out train. Red Bull KTM, they're catching up. 38 seconds now. Fretton launches with 1k to go. Will he catch the breakaway? He will not. Up the road is Naken, who takes first, and Fretton with that early attack takes third place in that intermediate sprint. Small split happening behind. Will they catch back up? There is 21 kilometers to go. Yes, they will. The sprint trains have begun. The breakaway is just chilling. We've seen attack there by Pedersen from Uno X. Didn't really amount to anything. All the sprinters are up towards the front now. Ava decline, chilling. He, of course, finished 14th last stage. Not the result he wanted. Casper Van Uden, 76 sprint, must be on a better day. Sam Bennett looking good in 6th position. Someone has crashed. Who the hell crashed? Pedersen crashed. The red jersey, second in the mountain classification. 13 kilometers to go. No one's going to go back for him. He has to chase the peloton when they're going probably their fastest speed, 47 kilometers an hour. An absolute flat stage here. Oh, here we go. The boys from Voltas Tartu are trying something, launching a 1-2 attack here. They're leaving their own team member on the front. Novelist, this Lithuanian. What was that all about? I guess showing their face on TV. Great exposure for the Voltas Tartu squad. Manuel Bookman on the right hand side for Sam Bennett. Fretton, of course, in the youth jersey, second in that classification. Mikko Reim trying to mess up some of these sprint trains, trying to get on the wheel of Arvid Decline, but Erzen is protecting him from the back. Heiderscheld in the middle here. Where is the Leopard sprinter? There he is. 9th, Abasturi. 5.2 kilometers to go. The Toltas Vartus squad is here. Last is in the wheel. Santander jumps across the left-hand side, leaving their sprinter Sam Bennett struggling to find the wheel. 4 kilometers to go. Van Gistel on the back of Soudal. Where is the sprinter? Caden Groves is buried too far back. Bennett looks like he's in the best position of all the sprinters. Casper Van Uren, the race leader, just on Bennett's wheel on the right-hand side. Arvid Decline. This sprint train goes. 2.2 kilometers to go. Voltas Tartu finds themselves at the front with 1.5 kilometers to go. The Uno X trainers moving up. A lot of the trainers are losing the back of their rider. Edward Turns on the right-hand side is an absolute mess here at the front. Who's going to go for it? Turns launches first, but it is Merritt from Team Intermarché in that absolute scrum of a sprint who takes it. Emos Lepins of Voltas Tartu in third. What an interesting stage. Looks like a few time gaps here. Not really, they're all just spread out. 4 riders losing time. Looks like 3 of those Voltas Tartu riders and Pedersen, but their effort paid off. Third place with Emos Lepins. Stage win for Merit of Intermarché Wanty Gobert. Edward Turns of Hergan and Farm Frights in second, and Emil Lippens of Voltas Tartu in third. Casper Van Uden still leading now 1 second ahead of Arne Merit. That extra bonus second in the intermediate sprint would have been what kept them. Gustav Wang still in the KOM, no points were on offer. And Casper Van Uden still in the points classification. Reim though, up to second, 4 points behind. Young rider still Casper Van Uden. Marat up to second though, so he could be wearing white today. And Lotho Destiny leading that team's classification. And then we have no time gaps except for those 4 at the back. Then we have the GC. We see Merritt up 19, Edward Turns up 5, Viviani down, Pedersen down, Lepins up 34 to 6th position overall. Now the sprint stage, this time 5 KOM points on offer. We should see a fight for the breakaway from those main contenders. My pick for today's stage is Sam Bennett. Stage 3 in real life of the Tour de Hongrie was won by Fabio Jakobsen once again. Rudy Babia in second, Sasha Williams in third, then Decker, Cantor, Walls, De Heers, Merhofer, Lieto of Cajaruel, and David Martin of Iolo Cometa. What a very interesting mix of riders there. Looks to be a proper bunch sprint with not many riders. No riders crashing. Another rainy stage in Hongrie. We start looking at Rui Costa, the Portuguese national champion. Let's get our labels on, and let's hope the race is exciting. Gustav Wang, first to make it into the break. Remember, of course, Wang was the most combative on the previous stage. Oh, we missed that fall at the back. 3 riders pick up the road, but once again the peloton not letting them do so. Gustav Wang very, very worse for wear. All back together. This time we see Pedersen getting up the road. His teammate Narkin also joining him, and Sturck trying to join, but Plankart once again doesn't like any breakaways from escaping. Red Bull KTM said, hey mate, we should let a breakaway get up the road. Now Pedersen, how many points behind is he? 2 points behind. So Pedersen needs to get first or second in this mountain sprint, and he will take over the mountain jersey. 3 more riders trying to get up the road. It is 2 from Voltas Tartu, Voltas Tartu, Bahrain Victorious, and Team Korotek. 9.4 kilometers to the top of this climb. Looks like all the riders are working together. Uno X not working in particular for any one rider. Let's really hope PCM Logic does not screw Pedersen here. Let's hope he has a chance to get into that mountain jersey. Stock on the front. The Slovakian rider for Team ATT Investments. 2.0 kilometers to go. Here we go. 1.3. The climb's about to start. Category 3 climb. The Urdobine, 1.5 kilometers, average 4.9%. Here they are sprinting for it. Stokes going for it. Pedersen's going for it. Narken's sitting at the back. Pedersen's got the edge. Narken comes over in second. 1-2 for Uno X. We see Henrik Pedersen in the mountain jersey now. Just has to finish the stage upright. With today's rain, it could be a bit of a tricky situation. Hopefully, not so much. Gustav Wang of Team Korotek now out of the mountain jersey. The gap's only 4:30, the maximum time gap ever is only 4:30. The stage must be a shorter stage, isn't it? 152, 40 kilometers shorter than the previous stages. That'll be why, according to Virtual GC, Tobias Narken is leading 8 seconds out of Sturk. Minute 58 ahead of Pedersen. That's not going to happen. They're not going to let the breakaway stay away. Lima of Team Santander has punctured, but he is straight back into the pack. That is the Portuguese rider. They go through a little town now, 16 kilometers before the intermediate sprint. The rain does not look like it's going to be letting up. I mean, look at those clouds. It's not looking horrible, but it's not looking so great either. 3 riders out in front, 3 lots of points on offer at the intermediate sprint. There won't be any time for the peloton to do any moves. Who do I think is going to take it? Well, I'm going to say Pedersen once again. He's looking on form today. Maybe he's going to be saving himself for tomorrow. And there is 2 riders from Uno X up in this breakaway. One kilometer to go. It is Stoic who launches first. Pedersen straight to the wheel. Pedersen coming around on the left hand side of the road to the Little Lake. The former Slovakian national champion Stoic takes maximum points there. 39 kilometers to the next intermediate sprint. Perhaps the breakaway, the peloton will have caught up by then, looking at the time gap. It certainly seems like they may. Still the favourites on the front, Red Bull KTM, Netherlands Lottery, Intermarché Wante, Liquid Gas, Santander doing all of the work. Oh, there is an attack from inside the breakaway. Narken has dropped, he's done his work on the front. Pedersen and Stoic are continuing alone. Gap is 40 seconds with 14 kilometers into a sprint. The pelotons most likely going to be the ones in contention for these points, and they are. The breakaway has been caught. Del Pinto of Santander helping out there. We see a few of the sprinters rolling to the front, looking for the lead-up men. They want these intermediate sprint points, remembering there's quite a few number of points on offer. Remember, Bock of Lotto Kernhaus has had a puncture at the back. 5 kilometers to go. We have Van Buylen, Camp, and Mazzato here in a nice little line. Holter is here for... Mads Pedersen has punctured at the wrong moment. He's not going to be able to contest this intermediate sprint. Van Uden now has his lead up then. There's Mazzato and Van Uden. The right hand side with the Miles Scottson leading up the climb. 2 kilometers to go to the intermediate sprint. Uno X leading out free time. They're going for it now. Edward turns to the right hand side. Van Uden, the race leader on the left hand side. Sam Bennett just sitting in his wheel. Bennett gaining 1 bonus second. Van Uden 2 and turns 3. Everyone's still all together. No major crashes. Nothing happening out of there. There's a major crash. A few riders are on the ground. Camargo, Leonard Van Antveld had a crash. Lotto Destiny have sent back their whole squad. Van Antveld did not lose time, but Piganzoli, he didn't either actually. On 11 seconds. Lotto Destiny will be working hard in the final 22 kilometers to bring the race back together. Looks like Lotto Kern, who is struggling on the back, as with Metek. They are allowing the Lotto Destiny squad to get back on. Maybe not. Maybe Van Etveld might lose time today. Anyway, back at the front, the sprint trains have begun. Ilya Viviani looks to be searching for a wheel. His sprint train is not here. Menten also doing the same thing, crowd surfing on the left-hand side. Looks like Evasturi from Team... What team is that? Team Leopard. 1 minute 33 is the gap. Lotto Destiny definitely not looking good at the moment. Leonard Van Etveld's chances of winning this tour overall are going out the window as he is losing time in the final 10 kilometers. Michael Valgren on the front, they're trying to do some work. They're trying to increase the pace. They're going 51 kilometers an hour. The second of those are only going 50. Make it or break it. They've got to push really hard now to make it back to the front. Bervolt, the form Red Bull KTM has fallen. Only him has fallen. He is joining the Lotto Destiny group. Back at the front, there's 9.8 kilometers to go, but the road is a bit wider. It will allow a few more sprint trains to get some room. We see Red Bull KTM coming to the front of the pack, cutting off the likes of Holgard for Team HTC. Michael Valgren, is he their protected rider? No, looks like they're going for Edward Turns. Red Bull KTM a flick to the right hand side of the road, allowing HTC to move Vandal up. Casper Van Uden still sitting nice comfortably on the left hand side of the road. They have not been blocked by anyone so far. They now swing to the right hand side of the road. Van Uden gets pushed into the middle of the pack, allowing Liquid Gas to come up the inside. Team Diamante on the left hand side trying a push now with 3 kilometers to go. It is Bloom leading out to Menten. In the middle, it is Netherlands Lottery. Van Bylen pulls across. Mazzato's on the front. He's the last man for Van Uden. 1.9 kilometers to go. Van Uden's about to launch his sprint. Van Uden is now free from the wheel. Who counters Edward Turns on the right-hand side, but it's Mateusz Kopecky. ATT Investments. The Conti team about to get a podium place. Mads Pedersen with that untimely puncture gets 4th and Other Decline in 5th. Well done to Mateusz Kopecky of Team ATT Investments. But Casper Van Uden, Netherlands Lottery, takes a second stage win in this Tour of Hungary. Flicking back down the road, we see Leonard Van Etveld and Jensen Plowright making a late minute push to the line. They're going to be losing a minute 40, 2 minutes, even 2.5 minutes on this flat stage. No other men from the GC lost time. We have it, Casper Van Uden taking his second stage win at the Tour of Hungary, extending his lead in the race. Edward Turns in second, and Mateusz Kopecky, ATT Investments. What a fabulous sprint by him. Casper Van Uden first, 8 seconds ahead of Turns, 13 ahead of Marat Viviani in 4th. Best climber, of course, Henrik Pedersen. He was in the breakaway today. He gained those bonus points ahead of Gustav Wang. Casper Van Uden still in the points jersey, still in the youth jersey, and HTC Columbia now leading that team's classification. Having a look at the... We've got to take a screenshot of the stage first, don't I? Well done, Casper Van Uden of Netherlands Lottery. Looking at the GC, a few runners moving up. Edward Turns, Kopecky moving into the top 10, moving out of the top 10. Evasturi down to 13th. No major changes in any of these that we didn't talk about already. Of course, we have a look at Leonard Van Etveld. He lost... SGC, hold on. He lost 2 minutes 27 on today's stage. Biggest loser, Leonard Van Etveld on today. Stage 4, the final flat-ish stage of the tour. On offer, we have 20 KWM points, 15 intermediate points, and of course 15 points at the finish. Games predicting a mass bunch sprint. I say, Sam Bennett, let's go. Stage 4 was won by a different Dutchman, Dylan Groenewegen of Team Bike Exchange Jayco, followed by Jacobsen, Barbier, Weymans, Viviani, Kielich, Kenta, Henry Ulig, Alpecin Phoenix, David Decker, and Itmar Einhorn rounding out the top 10. Interesting stage. No one lost. Oh yeah, there are some riders lost time, and there was a few minor crashes. But hey, it's a fine day in Hongrie. Let's get our labels onto the game. Let's see what happens. Pedersen first to attack Gustav Wang. All those riders who are high up in that mountain classification, they want that mountain jersey. Netherlands Lottery and Intermarché are the first to start the chase. Will they let the breakaway escape? Let's have a look. Even Lotto Kern House is helping out in the chase, making Mikael Reim and Sturk about to be caught. Meanwhile, Pedersen and Wang are up the road. Remember, they are 1-2 in that mountain classification. Geez, they're really tiring themselves out with the peloton chasing down all of these riders. And they've caught the final two riders here, and they've slowed a little bit, allowing Pedersen and Wang to get away. Pedersen has been dropped by Gustav Wang, unfortunately, as he is passed by Le Gac of Team Bahrain Victorious. There's now 3 of them up the road. They're all riding nicely together. The peloton is slowed. They've allowed the breakaway to escape. So 3 riders in a few of these places offering more than 3 lots of points. Do we think Gustav Wang will challenge once again to gain that mountain jersey, or will Pedersen hold it? Will we see Le Gac pull something out of the hat and win? Remember, today's the last flat stage before the mountain stage. Here we come, intermediate sprint point, followed closely by that mountain point. I think Pedersen is still the favourite for that intermediate sprint point. Le Gac on the left-hand side taking maximum points there. Pedersen in second. We've got 5 kilometres now to the hill climb. This is where the real drama is on the day. Jeez, his feet aren't even on the pedals. Interesting. Anyway, 3.9 Ks to the top, category 2 climb. There was 10 points on offer. If Pedersen had to win something, it would have to be this. Hopefully he hasn't used all his energy up too early. Gustav Wang leads them up the climb, 2.5 kilometers to the points section. Oliver Le Gac in the second, pushing them up against the side of the road, meaning no one can come past. Pedersen sitting nice and tightly in third wheel there. The terrain's only going to get steeper from here. We're about to hit the red section of the climb, whatever that is, probably like 6.5%, 7% now. They're still going quite fast, 16 kilometers an hour. Look at them just breezing up the climb. 1 kilometer to the top. Will we see an attack? Gustav Wang possibly just foxing it now, 900 meters. Pedersen trying something. Le Gac launched first. Pedersen is trying to counter. Gustav Wang has the inside line. He has the advantage. Le Gac takes it ahead of Pedersen and Wang. That, of course, extends Pedersen's lead over Gustav Wang. Back in the peloton, will we see any riders going for those mountain points? Ooh. Rafael Micah finds himself towards the front. Heiderskjeld is protecting him. Interesting. No one contests it. Henrik Pedersen now leads 5 points over Gustav Wang. Oliver Le Gac in third, 12 points behind Pedersen. Puncture for Calzoni of Team Credit Agricole. He is back in the pack. No damage done. Heading into the circuit portion of our race, the smaller circuit portion, we've got a sprint at, which is where the finish line will be, and then a KOM at the top of the climb. So the riders get a chance to practice their sprint finish. 1 kilometer to the intermediate sprint point. Who's going to take it? Le Gac launches first. Here's the acceleration. Pedersen on the right hand side. Pedersen passes. It's now a 3-man sprint. Gustav Wang takes it ahead of Pedersen and Le Gac. Interesting. Once again, Pedersen hopefully only cares about the KOM points, and he was just doing that so he could keep up. 7 Ks to go is at category 3, so only 5 points on offer. Then 3, then 1 for those across the line. Here we go, 900 meters to go. Legak, of course, launching first. Pedersen on the right-hand side. Gustav Wang's about to pass them both. Wang takes maximum points. Pedersen in second, limiting his losses. The gap between them is now 3. In order for Wang to get back into the jersey, he must either place first or second. If he places first, then Pedersen can get third. If he places second, Pedersen must get fourth or lower. The gap is 3 minutes 50, and it is Santander with 3 riders on the front: Donny, Lima, and Feoli. Van Bylen and Guterres for Netherlands Lottery helping them out in the chasing. Little small hills, hopefully small gaps don't form, and look at that, gaps do form. Riders are just dropping the wheel on these small descents. Caicedo doesn't want to lose any more time than he has to. Who's sitting too far back? Which team is it? It is Lotto Kernhaus. Team Metek sitting a bit far back. Bahrain victorious. Yeah, Jay Vine sitting a bit further back than he probably has to. Anyway, let's head to this last intermediate sprint, where Oliver Legak will once again try his luck. Here we go, 1 kilometer. He's not launching with 1 kilometer to go this time. He's saving it a bit later. Legak launches on the climb. Pedersen tries to come around. Pedersen in second there. Gustav Wang in third. Made no dent in that points classification. We now have 12 kilometers before the KOM. Will the peloton catch them? They're only just down the road. They can see them catching up in the rear view. Perhaps if I were one of them, I would sit up, allow the breakaway to catch me, and try and hold on near the front and then sprint for the points. The gap is now 25 seconds and they've been caught by the peloton. As it sits, Pedersen is still in that mountain jersey unless we see an attack by Gustav Wang heading into that final climb. 2.2 kilometers to go. There could possibly be some splits on the descent. Some decisive splints even. 700 meters to the top. No one in that mountain classification is up towards the front. James Fouché, the New Zealander, is going to lead the peloton over the top of the climb. James Fouché sitting 4th now in that mountain classification. With 20 kilometers to go, the team's sprint trains are now occurring out the back of the peloton. 2 runners are dropped. Camp and Feoli could not make it over those climbs. We're heading the second climb that is not categorized in today's stage. The sprint trains are all up towards the front. See domestics feeling very, very worse for wear, and some of the sprinters who can't keep up on the steeper terrains. Liquigas leads over the top. Will we see some teams push the pace down the hill, hoping for a split? Looks like we could get a split here if the likes of Messner drops the wheel. Further back, there is a split. Viviani is caught behind. He sends his brother Attilio to the front to try and close that gap down. Andrea Perron of Team Diamante also trying to close down that gap. It's all come back together. They're on the plateau now. Some smaller gaps. If they're sitting this far back, they should try and move up. Viviani, Kopecky need to move further up. Lipin's also sitting too far back. There is 10 kilometers to go. There's still time to catch back up. Another split has happened. Riders are just dropping the wheel. Fouché on the front for Red Bull KTM. Jonas Koch, who are they sprinting for? Bevort, Fritten. He's sitting a bit too far up his train. Pedersen on the right hand side. Mads Pedersen having some pretty bad luck in this race. There's 7.2 kilometers to go. Everstory once again on the back of someone else's train. This time he's on the back of Decline, the Liquigas train. Hoping it works out for him. Viviani has found himself to the front. He's also trying to get on the back of Decline. Kopecky also. Caden Groves hasn't really featured in these sprints yet so far. His sprint train is now on the front. Messner on the front. Brenner now takes over. Van Gestel, the last man left. 2.7 kilometers to go. Ili Viviani makes his way to Caden Groves' wheel. Bevort with a last minute push to the line, trying to move the Red Bull KTM train up. On the left, Uno X moving up. One kilometer to go. Who's going to launch the sprint? Kopecky has launched it. Plowright's here. Caden Groves is in the mix. Plowright. Jensen Plowright, Lotto Destiny. After losing time on yesterday's stage, he takes he takes the win for his team. Meanwhile, Matthias Kopecky, ATT Investments, takes second, and Mikkel Zigart of Team Tudor. Interesting mix of riders there on the finish line. We see Van Bylen losing some time, Donny, and of course there's these two who dropped before that final climb. Well done to Lotto Destiny. Quite a few Australians there in the top 10 for various teams. The final sprint stage is done. We see Jensen Plowright. Interesting jersey there for Lotto Destiny. That's not right. Anyway, well done, Jensen Plowright of Lotto Destiny. Casper Van Uden takes first. We're still in the leader's jersey, 8 seconds ahead of turns, 13 seconds ahead of Kopecky. Best climber, Henrik Pedersen, leads by 3 points ahead of Gustav Wang. Van Uden still in the points classification and still in the white leader jersey. Important coilless sprints. I don't know what that means, man. I don't speak French. HTC Columbia in the team classification. Cheat, sprint patch. Anyway, there's the GC going into the final stage of the day. Kopecky in third, Ziad moving up to 6th. Out of the top 10 is Fritten. Here we have it, the Queen stage of the race. On offer, there is 25 intermediate KOM points, 15 at the finish, 15 intermediate sprint points in the stage, and of course 15 at the finish. Favourites for the stage, Juan Ayuso, surprise, surprise, Credit Agricole, Lipovitz with Sudal Quickstep, leading Martinez for Team HTC, Van Netveld for Lotto Destiny, but of course Van Netveld lost that 2 minutes 20 already. Rafael Micah for Team Leopard, Jack Haig, Onley and Steinhauser. I'm going for Rafael Micah, complete outside favourite to win the stage. So, final stage, Tour of Hongrie. Who won this in real life? Surprise, surprise. Antonio Tiberi ahead of Eddie Dunbar, Oscar Rodriguez, Samuel Battistella, Zambini, Carl Frederick Hagen, Nicholas Egg, Chris Nealand, Patrick Conrad, and Anton Charmig. Interesting mix of riders that made Eddie Dunbar win the race overall. And that, of course, is why we have Eddie Dunbar as the thumbnail. Let's grab these 4 labels. Let's see what's happening. This will be a big break getting up the road. It is a mountain stage. Will we see any favourites for the mountain jersey? We will not. Perhaps a completely new rider in that mountain jersey. Liquid gas. Yeah, I mean, so am I, man. Your rider's on fire. On fire. And these 6 riders who were trying to get in the breakaway are looking very, very dead. Jano Wiener, who of course we thought was the leader for Team Bahrain, victorious. He's looking pretty dead. Zwiehoff, the leader for Team Lotto Kern. Boutz for Team Diamante. Mihalovic for Bahrain. Ernstad for Uno X. And Berent Ixia for Team Santander. I mean, the sprints are absolutely just messy. And the favourites don't sprint. Team HTC on the front. They have got Pedersen pacing down this breakaway for them. They've now decided to let the breakaway go. Heading back to the front of the race. 500 metres to go. Zwiehoff is going for these mountain points. No one else can follow. Puncture for Plancart. Plancart, of course, being the key domestic in the previous stages for the peloton. Pedersen still leads. Zwiehoff is now only 10 points behind Pedersen. If Zwiehoff wins this second KOM point, it could be either of them going for the victory in that KOM classification. 5 minutes 45 is the gap. It's still HTC on the front. Let's have a look, shall we? Going over this little plateau, and it is HTC has got their whole train on the front. They, of course, are the absolute, not even absolute favourites. They've got Lenny Martinez, who's got Juan Ayuso. Credit Agricole has. Credit Agricole not really doing any of the pacemaking. Leopard also not chilling towards the front. I mean, they've got Micah at the front, but no domestics there to help chase down this breakaway. Intermediate sprint, 3 kilometers to go. What's gonna happen here? 1 kilometer to go. Anyone gonna go for it? Yes. Ernstad launches, but so does Belt of Team Diamante. Belts in first, Ernstad in second, and Guida in third. All 6 riders are back together. The gap is now 8 minutes of 42, 124 kilometers to go. The gap is only extending. Okay, now it's reducing. Unimax have woken up and they've decided to try and chase this breakaway down. At the front, a rider has been dropped. We say goodbye to Barentexia. 23rd overall, 23 seconds down on GC, one of the better placed riders in this bunch. But not a mountain climber, so looks like he possibly may not have been contributing to that workload. Gap still about 9 minutes. It's a bit of an interesting sized gap. Meanwhile, we see riders out the back of the peloton. Could just be because of that descent. More undulating hills before we hit the Category 2 climb. Matraza, 4.3%, 12 kilometers, 8.9% maximum. Here we go, 6 kilometers before the start of the climb. Gap is still 7 minutes to the peloton. Definitely could be a day for the breakaway. We will have to wait and see. We're on the climb now. The slopes are starting out easy, only 3% to begin with. Back to the peloton. Still HTC, absolutely still HTC on the front. For, of course, Lenny Martinez, who has not been protected by anyone. Meanwhile, Rafael Mike is also sitting right up to the front of the race. Heiderscheld is protecting him. Lottery, train equals lose. Yeah, that's actually pretty shitty. That new PCM update. Anyway, Ernstad looks to be the next rider to be dropped from the breakaway. As we see, the Spanish rider has made it back in. 4.8 kilometers to the top. We're going to see the German Zwiehoff once again take these points. If we do, of course, that means Pedersen is likely going to lose his mountain jersey. All we need is someone to beat Zwiehoff here, and Pedersen keeps his mountain jersey. Ooh, it's coming down to the wire. The Spanish rider Barentexia takes maximum points there, meaning Zwiehoff is now 4 points behind Pedersen. Zwiehoff needs to gain some points in this mountain finish, or he will not gain that mountain jersey. Out the back of the peloton, we say goodbye to Pedersen of Team HTC. He's wearing the Dimension Data pants for some reason. Interesting. Anyway, back to the front. The gap is still 7 minutes, 63 kilometers to go. It is still anyone's game. We hope the breakaway doesn't blow up on that final climb. Small splits happening in the peloton. People cannot descend as per normal. A lot of riders cannot descend. Quite a few splits, and there's a fall. Turns is on the ground. Stussi, Merit. Looks like they're all up though, trying to reorganize themselves. There's a big bunch out the back. Colset of Team Uno X, the leader, has fallen. They'll be working together to try and bring him back to the front. Second bunch on the road has Pedersen, Narkin, Turns, Merit. Big sprinters names here, but looks like they've also got Leonard van Etveld. They have the Lotto Destiny trainers chasing once again. There is another second bunch here trying to catch up to the front bunch. A lot of small groups happening here. Who's big in this group? Sam Bennett, sprinter. It's a mountain stage. Viviani Lepens. Looks like lots of just sprinters who have been caught behind. Concha maybe. no real big mountain names. All the mountain riders are in this front group. We have Rafael Majka, James Knox up here, Lipovitz, Stora, Lopez, Bookman. I mean, a few of the sprinters, Televolta, of course, the Hungarian rider, national champion even. Second bunch being led by Intermarché. 5 minutes is the gap to the breakaway. Definitely a day for the peloton now, rather than the breakaway. Although with only 43 riders, who knows. HTC keeping the pace high. They don't want to leave it all to chance, especially when some of these riders in the front group are only 23 seconds down. We now see Credit Agricole sending a few riders to the front to help out with that pace making. The gap to the second group on the road has grown. Gorka Izagirre now dropping from the front group. He's done his time on the front. James Fouché keeping safe. Have they got his team Red Bull KTM got a leader? They have Televolta, but he is not being protected. Hopefully Fouché is just grabbing some water, then heading back up to him. 3 minutes 21 is the gap. We have 13 kilometers to an intermediate sprint, which will be on the final climb of the day. The Kikesto, 5.1%, 14.2% maximum grade. Another rider has dropped. Fail Prost of Team HTC Columbia, the second bunch on the road, has set up. Scottson's in here, Thalman, Sutter, a lot of sprinters, Umber, a lot of sprinters just chilling. Front group is 41. We're going to see Michael Valgren also dropping out of contention. HTC burning all their domestics on the early parts of the stage today. Lenny Martinez must be feeling strong. Final climb is 15 kilometers to go. 15 kilometers long. The breakaway is on the final climb. Hopefully they can work well together. Perhaps the winner for the stage could come from today's breakaway. Especially with a lot of these domestics no longer being... I mean, Pseudo Quickstep's got 2 domestics left. They should be able to contribute to the pacemaking. Rui Costa for Hogard and Farm Fries. There we see Wise for Ayuso falling out the back. Leopard's got quite a few riders here. Caden Groves is still up here in contention. Pedersen, Van Uden, the race leader, is still hanging on. The gap is 2 minutes 20 to the breakaway. We see an attack now by Boots. Is he going just for the intermediate sprint? It looks like he could be. Maybe some of these riders are killing themselves off. Mihaljevic is looking very dead. Will he try and grind his way back up to that front bunch? Peloton now being led by Oscar Rodriguez of Credit Agricole. Pseudo Quickstep have sent a domestic to the front as Marechko is still here. Marechko is still here on the climb. There we go. Marechko's dead now. I was going to say, bloody hell, he must be on good form. Mihaljevic about to make his way back to the front. He's using the Benji Narsson tactic of just taking an easy pace up the climb. 2 minutes is the gap. If the peloton do not react shortly, the winner will come from this group here. Zwiehoff is the best placed rider, as Beren next year of Team Santander. These two are the dangerous riders. Minute 40 is the gap. Everyone else, or even Urenstad, is on 23 seconds. There's 3 riders here on 23 seconds. And a few riders, the rest of them are on a minute 24, so they're all dangerous. Right now, they're all still in contention for the overall. Will we see an attack shortly for 35 riders? They're all just sitting in. The camp is gone now. Another domestic out the back of the pack. We say goodbye to Ernstad. He has been dropped from the front bunch here. Spanish rider. There's now only 4 riders left at the front. 2 from Bahrain victorious. Zwiehoff from Lotto Kernhaus and Bolt from Team Diamante. Mihaljevic now dead. He's done his work for Wieder. Only 3 kilometers to go. They're still holding a minute. It looks like Zwiehoff could be riding into that leader's jersey. 50 seconds ahead of the peloton. Lenny Martinez now leading the pack up. 2.6 Ks to go. Will we see an attack from someone? Will it just come down to a sprint? Caden Groves is pushing. The breakaway has been caught. Well, that's unlucky. Unlucky. James Knox moving up. Where is Rafael Majka? There he is there. Rui Costa on the left-hand side. Rudy Porter on the right. Jay Vine of Team Metic is up in position. Kenny Elissonde, the Frenchman, he's the one who has to do the attack. Martinez, who spent his energy on the front, clawing back the breakaway. Marco Brenner trying to punch you up the line, but it is Kenny Elissonde who is overtaken by Jack Haig of Intermarché Wanty on the line. 25 riders in a bunch sprint. What an absolute shitty way to end this tour. Martinez in the top 10, Stora rounding out the top 10. Interesting. Mike is dead, Blade's dead, Fouché almost in the top 20, Zwiehoff in the 20th position, Vermarke outside of it. Well, that was really kind of shitty. Thought someone might do an attack. Hoped someone would do an attack. Kind of crappy that they didn't. And here we have the podium for the race. Jack Haig of Team Intermarché Wanty takes the stage. Ahead of Kitty Elson on the same time, 4 seconds back for Onley, Costa, Lopez, Lipovitz, Volta, 8 seconds back, Brenner, Martinez, and Stora. What does that look like in GC? Jack Haig wins the tour overall ahead of Kenny Elson, Oscar Onley, Lipovitz, Lopez, Martinez, Volta, Stora, Vine, and Steinhausen. Henrik Pedersen takes the best climber classification. Zwiehoff almost gained those points on that finish. Take that jersey, but not quite enough. Casper van Uden takes the points classification quite comfortably. Oscar Only takes over the youth classifications as Van Uden, who lost significant time today. And Hogan and Farm Flights took that team's classification. And then we have the big changes in GC. A lot of riders moving up into the top 10. It really just came down to a sprint. What an absolute shitty way to go. Caden Groves, sprinter, in 20th. Interesting. Anyway, let's get the top 60 places in the GC. Van Uden only came 29th. That's pretty bloody good, I'd say. Cheers, Beetle. Happy to help. Vital. Anyway, there's other classification. There's the sprint classification. Casper van Uden, Henrik Pedersen in the mountain jersey. Youth rider Oscar Onley moving up 14 positions. And team classification, Team Home Garden Farm Frights up 11. Well done to all the winners and losers on today's stage. Hope you enjoyed the stream. I enjoyed streaming it. See you next time.
Thank you.